Hi friends, Miss Ella here from Learn to Grow. I'm out here in the garden near the pumpkins, zucchinis, and cucumbers, and it looks like the powdery mildew has made a comeback. Powdery mildew is a common fungal disease that most gardeners deal with during the summertime, especially during cool summer nights, high humidity, and also when the foliage or leaves are dry. That's when the spores tend to germinate. However, we can control them by using preventive measures or treating them with organic DIY solutions such as baking soda and water, which I've tried, except it wasn't as effective. So I'm trying something new today. I'm going to try some hydrogen peroxide solution along with water. And I've also read that milk and water solution works very well. In fact, Callie Kim just came out with a video using milk and water solution. It looks like it's working for her. And I'm using 1 part of hydrogen peroxide to 3 parts of water in my 1-gallon sprayer. Mix up your solution before you spray. I want to show you how the powdery mildew looks like. This is one of our pumpkin plants. So I'm spraying the leaves, the stems, and underneath the leaves. So I spray until the leaves drip, just enough to cover the surface of the leaves. And also the lower part of plants, there's a lot of new growth down there, so I'll be spraying down there as well. Hi friends, I'm back with an update of the hydrogen water solution spray. Now the first 4 days was going well and I was able to keep it under control. Now you're supposed to spray daily or every day until the powdery mildew is gone. Unfortunately, I just got too busy, so I lost track of time and I stopped spraying the next 4 days after that. Now I just spent 45 minutes trimming back some vines and lots of leaves off the plant because it actually affected a lot of our pumpkins, cucumbers, and zucchini plants. So it's gotten worse. I'm just gonna let Mother Nature take its course because sometimes there's just some things that you can't control. But lesson learned, there are some preventive ways to prevent powdery mildew. So what happened here is I planted the plants too close together. It was overcrowded. I think I had too many plants. I should have thinned some more out, which I didn't, but that's okay. I was just so excited to use this new garden trellis that my husband built me for Mother's Day, and so I didn't really pay attention to how many plants were growing in each row, and so they just got really crowded. And what happens is the powdery mildew thrives in low sun or low light. So you want to make sure not to crowd your plants. Also plant your garden in full sun. Last month my sweet peas or oriental peas were affected quickly with the powdery mildew. I actually had to pull them out. It just happened so fast. But fortunately, there are several species of powdery mildew which is host specific. So the powdery mildew on the peas last month only affected the peas, but no other plants in the garden. So there are several species of powdery mildew that will attack almost every plant, trees or shrub, or even flowers. Anyway, let me show you what I've done here. I've cut back a lot of leaves and vines, and I'll show you how the powdery mildew looks like and what it does to the leaves so you can identify it and prevent it from getting out of control. I'm spraying it right away so that way it does not take over the plants. Just want to show you how they look like, or the powdery mildew, and how it progresses. So at first it's going to look like, the white fuzzy spots, and it actually also grows or germinates on the stems of the plants, especially young leaves or foliage. They are highly susceptible to powdery mildew. And then it's, slowly turns yellow because the powdery mildew blocks the sunlight, so it prevents photosynthesis. And then it turns to this dark greenish brown. The leaves die, and eventually it spreads on the rest of the stems or the vines, and it can kill your plant. Yeah, so that's how they look like. Now you want to dispose of this. Don't put this in your compost bin. Put them in a garbage bag, get rid of them. The spores itself overwinters, and it will come back when the environment is favorable to them. So you just want to get rid of all the affected leaves or vines that you cut from your plants. So here are the pumpkin vines, the Jack Little pumpkins that I had to trim back. So to give you a closer look, the mildew had spread through all the stems or the vines, and it's actually making its way to the bottom of the plant. And here's a young leaf here that's been affected, and I noticed that the young leaves get affected quickly than the bigger leaves or the more mature leaves. So at least we'll get some of these cute little jagged little pumpkins harvested. There's another one there. There's another one behind there. There's also trimmed back the zucchini plants as well, especially the young leaves that were affected. So they look kind of bare right now, but at least it allows some proper aeration and sunlight in between. Now this vine here looks very healthy. These are the white little pumpkins, as you can see. So this one I didn't have to trim a lot of leaves, but it looks like this one's going to do well. Now it's unfortunate that I had to deal with this again. I think it's been about 2 years though since we last had powdery mildew in our garden. But at least we're getting some harvest from the plants, and it looks like we're going to get a few more harvests before the plants die down, and I'm just glad that it happened later in the season, towards the end of the growing season here in the Pacific Northwest. So I would like to know what you've done to get rid of powdery mildew. Would like to know ideas. I know there are so many of them out there, and would like to get some tips on what works best based on your experience. Thank you so much for joining me today in the garden, and I hope that you guys have a nice weekend and are enjoying your summer harvest.